Roofman is the story of let's see, a kind of a man who wants to do good. Channing Tatum plays Jeffrey Manchester. He was once in the military. He just wants to do good for his family. And what does he do? He pulls off a series of robberies where he enters through the roof, goes through the roof. What's odd about Jeffrey is he's incredibly polite. He wears a mask as he's takes the employees at a McDonald's, puts them in the freezer, but asks them to put their coats on. He even gives his coat to the manager who forgot his coat. Then he'll leave. He amasses money so what can he do? He wants to buy a bike for his daughter's birthday. That's it. Just trying to help out his daughter and be a good dad. His crime spree leads to him maybe getting the attention of the authorities. He ends up buying a house, has a big birthday party with his daughter, but the authorities are hot on his tail and he ends up going to jail. But he's very likable and resourceful, and he cares about others and finds a way to escape jail. What does he do then? As he's fleeing the police, he finds refuge in a Toys R Us where he finds a way to sort of sleep between the walls and survive on M&Ms. He befriends locals at a church and meets Lee Wainscott, a single mom played by Kirsten Dunst, and they end up having a little romance. Torrid. In fact, they get hot and heavy on the first date. You can see where this is going. I'm not going to spoil it. Things do kind of unravel for Jeffrey as he tries to keep up this charade of being a church-going good dude. Maybe he works for the authorities. We don't know. His job is mysterious, but he has money and he's filled with lots of free gifts for people at the church. This is based on a true story, and it's wild. Again, one of those true stories. This has become a cliche in movies now, where the movie will kind of show the comparison to the real people. This has happened in so many films, like the movie Sully with Tom Hanks, among others. You see the real person, and Channing Tatum kind of looks like him. I really like Channing Tatum quite a bit. He's a very likable actor. Kirsten Dunst is great in this. The movie has a very indie film feel. It's like very soft-spoken, dramatic. Ben Mendelsohn plays a character named Ron Smith, who is a pastor at their local church. And Jeffrey, while he is a criminal and does bad things, he's not violent. He's kind of almost too polite to be a criminal. And that's why he's so endearing. The thing that I found that I didn't think would really get to me, you know what it was? It's a period piece. Obviously, it's set more in the early 2000s era. It's the Toys R Us. Toys R Us. Now, I hear that Toys R Us, they're going to reopen Toys R Us stores. Have you heard this, that Toys R Us are having a comeback?
Yes, I have. I don't know how true it is.
Because I used to be clear, I'm not going to out myself as a criminal, but I'll say this. In the 90s, I was an editor at a video game magazine, and I would get like review copies we would be sent games, a lot of games. I would go to Toys R Us at least once a week. Why did I go to Toys R Us? They had the cheapest diapers you could buy. And my kids at the time were young, single digit age. They were kids in the 90s. I had to buy diapers. Toys R Us sold diapers at a loss to get people to come in. What would we end up doing? We'd obviously end up buying toys. And I would take games that I was sent to review, and I would return them to Toys R Us to get cash. Yes, I did this. I did this in the 90s when my kids were little. We would go to Toys R Us once a week to get diapers. I'd get toys. On occasion, I would exchange games for cash. Anyways, the movie, the nostalgia from seeing so much of the movie set in a Toys R Us I was really moved by it. Peter Dinklage also plays this antagonist, Mitch. He's kind of the a-hole manager of the Toys R Us who, he's an a-hole. What can you say? Dinklage can play that role. He can also be very sympathetic. This feels as the vibe and feel of an indie movie, very likable, enjoyable drama, and I recommend it. Not necessarily a strong recommend. You could wait for streaming on this, but if you're looking at the theater and the choice is Tron Ares or Roofman, you will have a good time at Roofman. You'll walk out smiling, and the Toys R Us nostalgia might get you in the feels. It actually did get me. So recommend for Roofman. Let's see what you have to say and go to comments.
All right. Well, I too did like Roofman.
Wait, I didn't know you saw it. Tell me what you thought, Alan.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so my only problem with it is too damn long. It's over 2 hours long. I think there's a good half hour you could have cut out of this movie. But I did enjoy it. Channing Tatum has just his ability to feel like a normal guy. And I think the appeal to me for this movie was twofold. It was this love story between him and Kirsten Dunst's character. The other thing was it's like a spy movie in the sense of, how is this guy who's on the run? How is he going to survive? Because usually when you escape prison, you're caught within maybe a week. This guy went months without being caught. And, right. And the question is how, and you see it, and it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of plausible. And then, his main goal is to get out of the country. And so he has a friend of his who's going to give him a false identity, false passport, things like that. But he has to wait it out. And that's what this is. And like I said, going back to the romance with Kirsten Dunst, one of the things I really appreciate about this movie is its portrayal of a small town church.
Right.
Ben Mendelsohn is the pastor. It's just, look, my experience with the church is that, especially with the small ones, is that everyone's really nice to you. Everyone cares about you. If you have a problem, people want to help you. And that's the kind of church he runs into here. And so definitely, this is just a really sweet film. I think, to me, when we went to CinemaCon, the movie I remember most out of all the presentations was Roofman, because it was just a simple story. And Channing Tatum comes out and just says, it's just a very simple story about a guy who loves his family and goes the wrong way in doing that. The moral of the story at the end is perfect. It's just chef's kiss. Not to spoil things. Well, no, I won't spoil it. But
don't spoil it, please. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I won't spoil it. But
by the way, it's only 2
ending,
hours.
Hold on. Let me finish. Okay. You spoke for 5 minutes about this.
I'm so sorry.
The ending. It's just one of those, because I saw a comment in there. I think we're about to read it, but it's we're making heroes out of criminals. Well, in this one, the criminal realizes he's a criminal. He is a criminal, and he learns to accept the choices he's made in life. And I think a lot of that has to do with kind of the church influence that occurred in the film as well. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say the movie is, you said it was long. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes. So it's not that long, but if you stay through the credits, you'll see more about the real person. And they do comparisons with photos of the real and the fictional. But yeah, just really fun and just heartfelt drama, and I recommend it.
Okay,
and
let me ask you this question. Did you notice the nipple?
No.
Yeah, there's a nipple, and I swear it's unintentional, but somehow
what, with Kirsten Dunst?
No, Juno Temple.
Okay, well, there you are. That's a great thing that adds to the review. I didn't know why that was
Yeah.
important.
Well,
Hey,
I mean, it's rated R, and I don't know if it's because of the F words or is it because of the nipple.
it's really not that. I mean, there is a sex scene, but
And
it's not
there's a
super
nipple.
graphic.
And there's
Anyways,
a nipple. Yes.
okay. Recommend from both of us for Roofman.
Roofman.